Hello my friends, welcome to Breakfast with Sergio. This is episode number 198 and today I want to talk about Instagram story hacks for artists. Well my friends, welcome back to my table. Super happy to be here. I'm back again. As if you have been watching Breakfast with Sergio, last 3 episodes were episodes that I did in Mexico at the beautiful city of San Miguel de Allende, where we spent a week there and it was just awesome, super cool. Go back and check those episodes out if you missed them. Well, on my table today I have 2 quesadillas which I made and also egg whites here on the side. Super delicious breakfast. I'm ready to eat this, but before I do that, I want to talk to you about Instagram stories, Instagram story hacks. That's exactly what I want to help you with. If you're an artist, if you're on Instagram, maybe you're watching Breakfast with Sergio from your Instagram, things that you can do as an artist to use stories in a way that will help you out as well, to grow your audience and to get attention for the things that you're doing as an artist. So, for those of you who are kind of newbies to Instagram, what's the difference between the stories and the feed? Well, the stories is a little bubble that you can see when you go to Instagram and you see bubbles from the people that you follow. You click on those bubbles and you see their stories, right? As you probably know, stories are gone in 24 hours, while your feed stays there for as long as you want, unless you delete any of the posts. So when Instagram roll out stories, a lot of people kind of started paying attention to them. Well, by now, Instagram has already said that stories is one of the top features that people use, meaning that people are spending tons of time looking at stories versus the feed. So that is a great piece of information for us to know, because you want to be where the attention is at, right? You want to be where people are looking at. And so stories is one of those places. So things that you can do as an artist to use stories, for your benefit, for the things that you do, is, for example, when you make a post in your Instagram, right, for your feed, that goes in your feed, your content, your curated space, your feed, if you post a work of art, if you post, something about your show, whatever you post, that image, as soon as you post it in your feed, what you can do is you can go as soon as it's posted and you can go and click on that little airplane right at the bottom of that post and share it to your stories right away. You share it to your stories. Once it goes to your stories, you can pinch on it because the feed is squared and the stories is vertical. You can kind of give it something fun, have some fun with it. You can put some stickers on it. You can say new post at the top. This is what I usually do, put new post, and then I take another sticker and say tap here. So when you tap, it takes you to the post. So that's something that you can do, again, to bring attention to that post that you just created, because a lot of people will be looking at your stories and that's how they will find about your post. So that's something that you can do very easily. Just go and make that post into a story. Something that I do, for example, also if it's a work of art, something that I've been doing lately and it's kind of fun is, for example, if I make the post and then I put it in my stories, then I go and then I zoom in, like on a second story, I zoom in and they'll just show a detail. Then I put the word detail on it so you can see the work and then you can see a really close-up detail in my story. So, you can have fun with your stories, right? Things that you can do in your stories is your life as an artist, right? The things that happen behind the scenes. And it's okay, for example, in your stories to share, if you're having fun doing something that maybe is not exactly related to your art. However, it still is your life as an artist. I think that is fun. I enjoy, for example, the artists that I follow, to see their life, see the things that they're doing. So it's okay, if you share, a picture of your cat or your dog, that's fine, right? As long as that doesn't take over the whole content of your stories. It's kind of those little surprises that I think keep people engaged in your stories. As you know, you can put multiple stories. What I recommend is that don't put all your stories at once and forget it. Here's why. Stories last for 24 hours, correct? So you don't want to put all your stories all at once. Why? Because you know those little bubbles that are at the top of the, your Instagram when you are looking on Instagram, those little bubbles of your friends' stories? Well, if you put them all at once, then only once a day, then, as more people go to add new stories to their feed, those bubbles will start to come in, and pushing your story all the way to the end, right? Depends on how many people your friends follow. So what you want to do is, instead of just putting in all your stories once, do it throughout the day. And, that's something that is easy to do. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. Just takes less than a minute to put a story. Depends, of course, what you're doing. Put them throughout different times of the day. That way, as you put new stories, your bubble continues to push forward, so that, or to the top of the feed, so as people, your friends, your followers are looking at their Instagram, your bubble continues to show up and doesn't get lost all the way in the back. What you will find too is that as people begin to interact with your stories, also Instagram will start showing your bubble more often. So that's why you want to create interaction in your stories too. So for example, you can use question stickers, you can use comment stickers, you can use poll stickers where people say yes or no to something. Those are really cool. Instagram loves interaction on those things, and so it will give more love to your stories. Another cool thing about stories, and I don't know how much you do about this, but when you do your stories, before the 24-hour is the time limit for a story, you can go and look at the insights for that story. In other words, the statistics, how many people click on your stickers, how many people saw your story, the insights, the impressions. All you gotta do is when you are in your own story, you swipe up and you will see, you can actually scroll through all your stories that you have at that moment, and it will show you the insights for those stories, the impressions and everything else. In another episode, I'll talk about, what each of those things mean. But for now, you can look at that, see how many people have looked at your stories, how many people visited your page because of your story. So, particularly if you have some of those posts where you highlight something from your feed, you can see how many people actually swipe up to look at the post from your story. Now, one of the questions that a lot of artists tell me is, Sergio, I don't have time to be putting a lot of stories, as is, hardly have time to put a post. Well, what you can do, my friend, so that your stories should never be empty, is just share a post that you already have. Maybe go to one of your very early posts and then click and share to your stories. You can do that a couple of times a day, and that way, you can mix some of your art that you already have in your feed, with the things that you're doing as an artist and sharing in your stories. That continues to bring traffic, to the posts that you already have, particularly those posts that have shown to be very popular with people. So, again, those are some little hacks that you can do. Another one, last one, is that you can also use hashtags in your stories. I don't know how many of you know this, but you can also use hashtags in your stories. And what you can do, that you have to do is just in your story, click on the text button and then put your hashtags. You can then make them really tiny so they're almost invisible in the post. For example, if I'm doing a story that has a white background, I can make my hashtags, I make them color white, I make them really tiny, and I put them somewhere in the background so nobody will ever see them. And hashtags also do work in stories. So again, those are some quick hacks for you, my friend. Thanks for watching Breakfast with Sergio. I'm so excited, super happy. Please share this episode with your friends. That makes me even happier. So please do that, my friends. And if you want to work with me, my friend, just go to www.theartistnextlevel.com/work with Sergio. See you later. Have a great day. Goodbye.